How do you think the Jets and specifically Robert Saleh handled the absence?
What do you mean by that? Like, do you mean by how they handled it in terms of like the
Yeah,
media?
right, in terms of letting everybody know that Rodgers wasn't going to be there, and
Oh, very poorly. Yeah, very, very poorly. Yeah, that's okay. I thought you meant like, are they worried about it or how
no,
they handled it internally? No, that wasn't a great thing. Now, look, it was going to be, and I've talked to people at the Jets about this. Their argument is that it was going to be a headline no matter what, whether they said it when minicamp report date came or whether they said it a week ago at OTAs or when the offseason program began. They're like, look, we know we're not going to have Aaron for mandatory minicamp, but he's going to be there. That's their argument. My thing is that this has been known. This wasn't like Rodgers told him last week. He told them the minute the minicamp schedule came out. What the Jets should have done when they were very happy about the overall attendance that they had, minus like 3 or 4 players during the offseason program, when Aaron was there and they're speaking so glowingly about how much he means to the team, Robert should have stood up there and basically been like, look, it is unbelievable he's here for the voluntary portion. Now, look, I'm just going to let you guys know, we know already he is not going to be able to be at mandatory minicamp. He's going to miss those 2 days. It's an unexcused absence because obviously it's a mandatory practice, but we know where he's going to be. He's been here for the full offseason program. Really not going to impact that much. That's what he should have come out and say. The way that they worded it of unexcused, subject to fine, it's something that was important. It like added fuel to the fire. You know what I mean? They could have dampened the flames. And I felt like on that podium, Robert fanned them a little bit. And it was maybe a lose-lose situation. That's what the Jets say, and that's what the Jets think. But I do think that they probably could have lessened the hysteria that came with it, because once they said it the way they did, it became, oh my God, where's Aaron Rodgers? Where's Aaron Rodgers? If they just said like, hey, it's a super important trip for him, and he's going to, and they said it weeks ago, I think it lessens and lessens and lessens and lessens by the time we actually get to minicamp. So that's probably what I would have done, or what I think they should have done.
And it makes them seem a little bit more in control if they came out ahead of it and did that. And it also I think it eliminates part of the distraction aspect of it too, because like now you're no longer going up to Tyrod Taylor and say, oh, did you know that Aaron Rodgers wasn't going to be here? And
then Tyrod's forced to lie and say like, no, I found out this morning. Again, I felt like I was talking to Tyrod Taylor when he was like found out he was starting over Tommy DeVito last year, like where he's like, I found out this morning, like when the whole team found out. Like it was almost like you were, again, it was a you know what show that was created, and it just was a circus that started swarming. And I think if you got ahead of it, it maybe is still a circus, but it's not as much of a circus as what it turned out to be, if that makes sense.